So in the 1980s, I was young and I lived in Israel. And I met a boy while I was swimming laps at the King David Hotel. And he was adorable and very Israeli, and he came from a large Kurdish family who were builders, and so they knew everybody in the city. And he took me under his wing and decided he was really going to take care of me, but we couldn't quite figure out, were we friends? Were we more than friends? We didn't know. It's a lot of tension. So I had a job at the time as a TWA ground hostess, and I would meet the tourists at the plane with a little sign and then bring them around and sell them night tours and all kinds of tours. And I would also make restaurant recommendations to them, and for that I would get all kinds of dollars under the table, black market dollars, for every tourist I sent to a restaurant. And I could eat in any restaurant in Jerusalem for free. So one night I come home from a long day with the tourists, and I'm done. And I'm a 20-something-year-old young woman who thinks I'm overweight, and I haven't had a good bowel movement in many a day. And so I had a friend send little French laxatives to me from Paris. So I'd never taken them before. And I thought, all right, I'm not going out at all for the night. I'm in. I popped 3 of them. And I put my pajamas on, and that's that. And I get a phone call from Yoram, and he's like, come on, Orbach, we're going out. He's like, I want to go eat in East Jerusalem. This was at a time when you could travel back and forth between East and West Jerusalem with no fears. And so I said, no, I really don't think it's a good idea. And he said, no, come on, we're going. So I said, okay. So we go out to dinner, and because they know that I can send them tourists, they wine me and dine me, and they like one plate of food after the next, and the evening's wearing on, and I feel my stomach really starting to rumble. I was like, okay, Yoram, we gotta go. Really tired, we gotta go. And he's like, no, just a minute. And more people are inviting him for a drink. And finally, I get him to leave. So we're in the car, and he's the kind of guy, he just knew everybody in Jerusalem. And so he would drive to a friend's house, honk the horn, and then they would come out from their balconies and start talking to each other. And so after the first balcony, I said, Yoram, are we gonna go up to their house? Because by then, I'm like doing all I can not to make noise and let him know. And he's like, no, I just have to go drop, I have to go drop something off. And he was also king of backing up. He would go backwards down every tiny street in Jerusalem, slamming on the horn and yelling to people in balconies and throwing things. And after the 3rd or 4th house, I said, wait, I really, can we go up? I just would like to use the bathroom. And he was like, no, that's okay. And so I just have one more stop. I was like, I really don't think so. And then finally, we're on our way home, and we're coming down the street to where I live. We have to make a left turn. It's Rehov Mitudela turns into Aza, and I'm home free, and I'm really like, my legs are crossed at this time, and I'm barely talking, and and there's a red light at the corner, and all of a sudden, this laxative really takes effect. And I'm wearing, I don't know, many of you might be around my age, Jordache jeans with very, very, very skinny, tight legs. And they have like a zipper on each side. and they're tucked, my socks are kind of like tucked into them, and I've got shoes, and my bowels released right in the car at the red light, and it's down my pants. It's in my socks and under my, and I started to cry. And he turned to me and he said, "Why are you crying?" And I said, "I shit myself." And he looked at me and he went, "Oh my God, you did." So I opened the door and I got out of the car and ran across the street like that, and I ran to my house and got in the shower, and I thought, well, I am clearly never, ever going to see him again. And I'm in the shower, and I'm crying, and I have to peel everything off, and there's shit in my socks and squirming between my toes and my shoes. Everything's in the shower, and I'm just crying and staying there as long as I can, and I come back out, wrapped in a towel, and he's sitting on my little futon, and he just put his arms out, and he said, "Come here, Acha Pacha," and he gave me a big hug. So we never did turn into a romance, and we've been friends all these years, I guess, 35 years. And when I see him to this very day, he has grown children, grandchildren, and when the last time I saw him a few years ago in Israel, I walked in the door and he looked at me and he said, "Orbach must be here." So that's my story.